Alright, and we are live. I really need to get like an intro something song play, I don't know.
You need to do the sync.
I need to do what?
You need a
We
sync
are
your
live.
audio and your video.
What do you mean?
Every single, you need to be professional.
Yeah, well, that is the intent, to eventually be
But then you
slightly
have to
more
do, like,
professional.
unsyncing.
Tiffany's home, by the way, so if you hear her in the background, that's what that is.
I need to have like I have a handle. You can refer to me by my handle.
I can, actually.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
instead
Well,
of
which
calling me
one?
by
Which
my-
one do you want to
I
be?
have it. I have
Tubo
the
Curing?
one, Yeah.
Yeah.
You call me by my first name. You fucking just
Doxed you?
me. How
Yeah.
dare you?
How dare I?
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, the job that I work, I can dox anyone.
Mm.
But
Oh,
like,
you probably shouldn't joke about that.
it's open source anyway. I'm still trying to find that
Oh, Lord.
organization 13.
You are too obsessed with that video.
No, not that one. I'm in the wiki for Naruto. Wait a second.
Okay.
Hold up. Yo, Itachi's thing is really long. Phrasing, but
Okay.
hold up.
Oh, Lord.
Organization.
Alright. Well, howdy, Embody. Afriel here. Today, I would like to talk about the importance of good role modeling. And I will open up the opportunity for folks to jump in later. What I'm going to try to do, because I didn't want to switch off of OBS to StreamYard just yet, is I will go to the Broken Clock Tower and pop in the tavern, and so it should be able to come through on desktop audio. I'll repeat that later on for folks who don't listen to catch up, but yeah. I think I've mentioned in passing what she does before, but yeah. Okay, so let's get the show on the
Are
road.
people actually online?
Yeah,
Oh.
McMo, he lives over
I
in
thought
North Carolina.
It was just you and me for like a solid
Well,
until now.
I mean, it has been, but the way that live streams work is people can watch from the beginning at like 2x speed, and then they catch up to whatever the current time is.
Yeah.
That's how most people do it in TLC, at least. Especially unless you come in at like 30 or 40 minutes, in which case it's probably better to just watch like starting from where you jump in. But if you come in early enough, then you can start at the beginning, watch at 2x speed, catch up, and then you know like the context of what's going on.
Now all of China knows my name.
Yes.
Oh, well, look what you done.
Yes, Mulan.
How come, like, then don't freaking say my name?
Howdy, Foxman. How you doing? I mean, I've...
As someone who's, like, preachy about OPSEC, you're not real good at
No,
OPSEC.
no, I'm not. It's a problem.
My God.
Yeah. Okay. Let's actually get the show on the road. All right. Before I get talking, let's level up strength a bit. I don't think I'll be able to get high enough to be able to one-hand wield it. Yeah, not quite. But that way we're at least getting that moving in the right direction. And yeah, the plan for today, if the thumbnail wasn't a giveaway, is we're going to go and try to kill the Gaping Dragon. So there's some stuff that we're going to hit on the way. I will try to kill the Capra Demon legit, and if I can't, after 3 tries, then we're going to cheese it. And that's just how that's going to be. So as far as the importance of good role modeling, I kind of put the major show notes in the description as kind of a teaser. So that should give some indication of where this talk is going to go. So the first part is the most permanent thing is a temporary solution. And Noah, I'm sure you've seen this plenty of times, but when you have somebody who does something, like codes something in a certain way, and they feel like they just don't have the time to make it correct or make it complete, they'll do kind of a hacky solution that works for most of the cases that they're worried about, but isn't necessarily going to cover all of the edge cases. And I was not in range to hit that. That's okay. We still got it. Let me turn off Homeward Bones, so that way I don't accidentally use them. Yeah, McMo, keeping me in check is definitely a thing. As my dad has said about my mom, she's the only one who can call me on my shit. So
Keep you humble.
you do keep me humble. It's quite helpful. So nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. And the problem with that is that when you do that, oftentimes it works well enough that you can just leave it that way for a pretty extended period of time. Because especially like if it does work well enough and you don't hit edge cases terribly often, then people will oftentimes just develop workarounds for those edge cases because it's a lot easier and less costly. What you could have to redo your video game code? I mean, you're probably going to have to redo it a bunch of times. It's not going to be just a once and done thing. But I'm curious how long you'll be able to... Oh, I didn't even come close to hitting him. There we go. Yeah, arrogance is definitely one of the problems that I have. I try to keep it humble, but I'm not always successful. What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Arrogant?
Oh my goodness.
No.
Okay, that's kind of unnecessary.
I know. You say that to me all the time.
You say that to me all the time.
I know, it goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
So in my experience, it's better to do something right the first time rather than trying to... Bop! Rather than trying to do something in the hacky enough way. I'm not gonna die here, Grizz. I haven't died yet.
He said confidently.
I haven't died yet.
He said confidently.
Okay, I might actually die if I'm not careful. There we go. You know what? Let's swag.
Let's do the tango.
I really didn't need to swing twice. I don't know why I did.
The nervousness. The let's play curse.
She needs a mic. Oh gosh. Hi, Ron. Maybe I will at some point, but for now, at least, it'll just be like the background peanut gallery kind of a...
With the confidence of a man who's already like been to jail.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't afraid of it
And now
anymore.
she's quoting John Mulaney. This is not a good situation. Actually, do you have a good enough quality mic that we could do like a second seat?
I think it's somewhere in our household goods.
Okay. We'll have to figure that out for next Saturday.
Somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know.
Howdy, Mills. But for now, she'll just be peanut gallerying it up.
Just like that party parrot.
That party.
It's like, John,
Woo woo woo!
want a pistache?
Oh my gosh. Okay, where was I at? Better to do it right. And sometimes you actually just don't have the time to do it right to begin with. Like, that is a real thing that you have to be mindful of. But when you do that, you need to actively make a plan to go back and fix the thing. Like, you can't just accumulate technical debt over time. I mean, it's not quite side by side just yet, but we're getting there. And Ron says hi.
Hi, Ron. I don't know who you are, but hello.
He wants you to speak louder so that he can hear peanuts hitting the top of my head. Like, you're just throwing them at me.
No, it's more than peanuts. It's also tomatoes.
It's tomatoes and like rotten lettuce and stuff.
No, just tomatoes.
Just
'Cause
tomatoes?
I don't like tomatoes.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Is it onions too?
just tomatoes.
Okay.
Because I like onions.
You don't like
No,
onions.
when they're caramelized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When they're no longer like, ouch.
When they're no longer spicy.
They're no longer spicy.
Oh my goodness.
You know how to do.
Lucky if you remember you have to fix it. Well, that's the thing. You don't want to have to remember to have to fix it. You want to like make a plan when you incur the thing in the first place. Let me keep moving here so I actually have gameplay accompanying the commentary. What?
You're not good at multitasking.
No, I'm not. We've established this.
I know.
This is the right way, right?
No.
So I'm going to Gaping Dragon, so yeah, this is the right way. Does she know I'm not streaming because you are and I'm an excellent role model? I don't know about excellent role model, but you're not a bad one.
Okay.
What? Okay. But yeah, you can slowly accumulate technical debt if you're just hanging about. Here we go. And it can sometimes take a long time for that to kind of rear its head, but eventually it will become a problem. It will become something where you genuinely have to deal with it, because not doing so will mean the death of whatever it is that you're trying to do. Actually, I'm surprised that hit. I would have thought the wall would have blocked it. And it's kind of funny, too, by the way. You can actually physically see technical debt in some cases. It's a little bit less apparent in code. Like, you can't physically see it in code as much. Although, actually, I take that back. If you look at the commit dates for certain things, as an example, with code, you can see when the last time was that something was touched. And in the same sort of a way, when you're working in like a mechanical space, you can see like serial numbers of equipment, and you can see like, okay, how long has it been since this pump was replaced? How let me just finish this so I don't die. Dodge the arrow, kill you, dodge the arrow. And another really interesting one that you can see is the dust accumulation on certain things. You can see when the last time it was that somebody actually came through and did something or looked at something or cleaned something just by the sheer amount of accumulated stuff that is sitting there that you can tell just hasn't been cleaned off. Let's see here. Y'all are adorable. I never cared less about what Avril has to say. She keeps me humble. It's good. I can't play video games because then I can see them at night when my eyes are closed clearly. I mean, that's definitely a thing that I've seen too, is that when if you play a video game, it actually helps to inform the way that you're thinking about not just the game but the rest of the world. Like, you start to like look at real life as Minecraft when you've played Minecraft for too long, and you have to be kind of mindful of that and like not mindful. Yeah. That wasn't even intended, but sure.
I dream of Baldur's Gate.
You do. Well, that's
you don't know that.
You have
I've told you.
You functionally have an associate's degree in that game, so.
I functionally have a bachelor's.
Do you
talked about this?
Is it a bachelor's now?
I almost have 900 hours in it.
That's obscene.
It's something.
Okay. Wait till you youngins feel the real technical debt, like what you acquire being sedentary. Well.
In Soviet Russia, debt acquires you.
Okay. It is kind of entropic. To answer Foxman's one-word question, but it's sort of like, in order to make things work, you have to do a certain amount of maintenance to push entropy back to keep it at bay. But you can let something degrade and decay for quite a long time before it ends up actually becoming an issue. Let's see. Wait. Triggers my money issues. Well, debt's...
Are you truly an American if you don't have money issues?
I mean, yes. There's plenty of Americans who don't have money issues. I would like to think us, but...
I guess we don't really have, like, compared to, like, most of America.
No.
Money issues.
No, we have pin issues instead.
Okay, look.
if you read an Anne Rice vampire book again, you'll write again. Why is that, Grizz? I'm curious. And Baldur's Gate, it's an okay game to get a degree in. Debt acquires you. What?
That's not what that's not what I thought that sentence was gonna go.
What?
To get a degree in.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate. I thought you said like Baldur's Gate is an okay game to get obsessed about.
I mean, also yes, I guess. I don't know. I think I can go this way and it's faster.
It's not an obsession. Just dream about it.
But well, okay, I was more curious, Grizz, why reading specifically an Anne Rice vampire book was the thing that would make you want to write again. Because asking the AI slave bots to generate Substack articles for you does not count as writing. I'm sorry.
Wow.
What?
Leave my vampires
What?
alone.
What do you mean your vampires? You were never a Twihard. Or no, what is it? What's the derogatory term for somebody who likes Twilight too much?
Maybe it's Twihard.
Twihard? Okay. For some reason I didn't think that was it. I'm gonna try and fight the dragon. This is probably gonna go poorly.
You're gonna go poorly.
I mean, probably. This is probably gonna be the first you died screen. Okay. I could probably just run, actually. That's probably the better option here. And I died. Yep. Yeah, that's predictable. They're journalistic. Ah. No, you're not a Taylor Swift fan, are you?
I don't know about you.
Okay, that's...
I'm feeling 22.
She sings a lot of other things. She doesn't usually sing Taylor Swift, so I'm gonna say no.
That's literally the only line from that song that I know.
Okay. Howdy, Joy. How's it going? Alright. I'm trying to think if there is a way to quickly bait it away, because otherwise I have to like go around the other way, and that's not as fun. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just go around the other way. That's fine.
They're called Swifties.
Like boots of swiftness?
Yeah. So you get it.
No. That would be hilarious, though, if she, like, made a shoe brand and called them Boots of Swiftness or
Don't
something.
tempt her. She's gonna hear you. She's got ESPN. Because her boyfriend is in sports.
Mm-hmm. Okay, not quite enough poise to punch through that. Can I... Okay. Let's not die stupidly to low-level mobs. That would be silly.
That's a you problem.
Okay, because we haven't opened this yet. Yeah, we gotta go around. A game where you had to sing to activate the boots. That'd be great.
It's like, yeah, the Micah.
Well, it's like, oh, what's the... Well, because you have Legend
You
of...
do a performance check.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, however, if you sing well, you get better buffs.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be great. I would live for that.
I mean, we actually... So at the little insider information for y'all, we did like a birthday bash for Grizz after the Pacific Northwestery. And while we were there, one of the party members had, I think, 2 or 3 performance checks that were successful. It was pretty impressive. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Jacob Sonnenberg. It was somebody else.
I like how you're like some insider information. You're like the worst person to tell secrets to.
I mean, it wasn't really a secret though.
You're like, so, well, you said like some insider information. I'm like, you're the worst person to tell secrets
Okay.
to. Or you're the best person, because I'll be like, hey.
If you want to, I want this rumor to spread.
I want this rumor. You're like the best Mean Girls, like, you're like, I want to spread some shit about someone,
Okay.
but I don't want to do it. Ryan, come
who
here.
can I ask? Who
You're
can I
like,
tell
Ryan,
this
come
to?
here. I need to spread some shit about Regina George.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
don't want to be tied to it. And so you'll be like, what? And they'll be like, here, come over here, real come. And then you'll be like, I'm sick.
Uh-huh. These boots are made for swiftness, and that's just what they'll do.
Like,
That's a different artist, though.
It'll be like, you roll a 2.
Yeah. Oh, actually, hang on. Did I... before I go any further...
You're a good dog.
I have 2 Twinkling Titanite. I don't know what the reinforcement cost is for the next level. I think it's 3, so I'm just going to keep moving. Let's see. Alright, back to the outline.
I don't think I'm good for your stream.
Oh, you're fantastic. This is great content.
It's content.
It's content!
Good fucking content, Aaron.
So, there's certain ways that you can... Oh, did I not... When did I... Where do you pick this up?
You sound so disappointed.
Well, no, it's the lower Undead Berg key. Shoot.
But you memorized everything about this game.
I did not memorize everything about this game. There have been plenty of learning experiences through this.
Well, no, I'm just disappointed.
Okay, I might actually pause and look this up. 1 second.
Oh no!
I know.
How could this happen?
Very
me?
disappointing.
I know.
Lower Undead Berg key. Basement key.
You were so proud of this when we first dated. You're like, I remember everything.
No,
about
I don't
this
remember.
game.
I never said that. How
Yes,
could
you
you?
did. You're like, I remember everything. Here, watch this. I know that there's an enemy just around this corner. Watch
Okay.
this. And then you did.
Found on a corpse down the stairs from the church in Undead Parish, near the lever that opens the portal. I thought I picked that up already.
Nope.
Apparently not. Okay, off we go on an adventure.
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Okay. Oh, actually, that's a good point. I should switch back to the Grass Crest Shield. 1, because it's lighter, and 2, because it gives a stamina bonus so I can run for farther and longer. And let's put that back on. There we go.
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
Okay. So, and I put this in, and it's not going to flow properly now, but I still want to talk about it briefly. Actually, wait, can I... What's the right way to go? I already have it unlocked. I don't want to go past the Hellkite Dragon again. We're going to go this way. That's fine. So there are ways to kind of help prevent... Oh, that was weird. The guy just spawned in. Ways to kind of help prevent technical debt from arising from other people's actions. Or at least, like, setting flags or triggers in such a way where you can kind of anticipate that, oh, hey, there might be a problem here, like the technical debt might have accumulated in this particular location. And the best example I have of that is, if anybody here knows, the Van Halen No Brown M&M's technique. So when Van Halen was touring, whenever you're touring, you have like a whole bunch of requirements about, like, oh, I want the stage to be set up in this way, and I want to make sure that like, this is done in this particular way. And some of those are actually really important safety concerns, especially when you are a large band and you are on a stage that had to be assembled carefully. You don't want there to be a problem where... I'm not going to fall again. You don't want there to be a problem where something wasn't done correctly and then the stage collapses or the pyrotechnics don't run correctly, and so as a consequence, like, people get hurt really badly. If I fall here, I swear. Can I just push you? Get away from me. Let me go by.
And then you pushed him.
There we go.
I thought you were about to fall.
I was, kind of. Not quite. Okay, that's just annoying. There we go.
Your face is annoying.
That's uncalled for.
Your face is uncalled for.
I know. She's memeing, by the way. That's from a video.
That's what he wants you to think.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so you... Oh, that was rude.
I want you to know I just resisted a huge temptation.
Okay. So... the whole brown M&Ms thing, what they would do is they would put in the contract that we want to have a bowl of M&Ms backstage, and we want to have no brown M&Ms in the bowl. And everyone knows that some of these folks are really, really eccentric, and so a lot of people would just roll their eyes and be like, okay. But there was actually a really good reason for doing it that way. And the purpose of that was, okay, we want to make sure that everything's being done correctly. How can we institute something where it's seemingly unreasonable, but if they do that, then we can be reasonably assured that everything else was done correctly. And then when you're talking about, like, was the stage constructed correctly? Were the pyrotechnics set up correctly? That is stuff that's really critically important. And so if there were brown M&Ms in the bowl, then they would know, okay, we need to go over this with a more fine-toothed comb because there's potentially... I need to stop being stupid. There were potentially other issues that they would then have to identify. Okay. Let's go get that key. Might not get to the Undead Dragon tonight, but we'll try. Do. Hey there, mister. Bomp. Okay. That is such a good overhead swing. So, to kind of go from there, when you dig a small channel in the sand, it can become a raging torrent. And that's just something that you have to be mindful of. Or that, not that it can be, but that it will become a raging torrent. And you have to make sure that you are digging the initial channel well, so that way the torrent that comes out is what you want and need it to be. Now, I looked away for 1 second, and then he just ran right by me. There we go. I should probably stop just tanking things. Oh, wait a second. He's on the other... I thought I already... Well, that's annoying. Okay, well... Guess we're going back through this way, then. Yeah, let me just drink a little more. And here you come. And this is a little tight quarters, and my one-handed failed swing kills them? That's wild. Okay, well, let's just do this real quick. And these guys, I probably won't talk through this just because these guys can really mess you up if you're not careful. And they're super weak too, so it's kind of embarrassing if you die to them. Gotta love ads. Can I go up this without you chasing me? I just don't want to kill you. Okay, cool beans. And it does sound tidal. The Riptide is probably the more powerful example and the more common example. What you have is you'll have sandbar that builds up over time, and then eventually the waves breaking over it build up the pressure, build up the pressure, build up the pressure on the other side of the water, and it breaks free, and then the water starts rushing out, and it can carry people out to sea. So what you want to make sure you're doing, or sorry, no, that the more visual example though is if you have somebody who, let's just charge them. The more visual example is if you have a sand berm that builds up over time and it blocks between a river and an ocean. You can dig like a one-hand deep and wide channel, and there we go. That turns into a raging river. Is it best if I just use a homeward bone? Yeah, let's just do that. Not like super duper pressed for time? That's weird. Here we go. Maybe I will just leave that on. Okay. And now we're going back through the Taurus Demons Arena, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So you have to be mindful that when you have a small channel that you're digging at the very beginning, that it can become something much, much bigger. And I should be blocking, and I'm not, because I am not... There we go. Okay, that is physically impossible, but we're just going to accept that as game logic. There we go. Okay. So the way that that kind of corresponds to human behavior is that when you have a lot of people doing something together, the way that the first couple of people do it will have a significant impact on the way that the rest of them end up doing it. I should have been blocking, but I wasn't expecting him to like jump at me. Hello? Okay. Oh gosh. There we go. There we go. I am having such bad habits today. And I probably should kill the crossbowman up here first. Cool. It is such a fun attack. That one too. Bop. Okay. And one more. Oh, you came down the stairs to see me. Hello.
He's listening.
No soliciting. I'm pretty sure that's against TOS.
Whose?
YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight that one.
Alright. So, if you get it right, if you get that flow of behavior right from the start, it can be really, really powerful, because then it becomes really easy for everybody else after. Like, they can just model the behavior of the first couple of people, and it just chugs along nice and smoothly. But if you get it wrong, or if somebody in the middle of it messes it up, then what can end up happening is it goes horribly, horribly wrong. Because what ends up happening is the people behind them imitate the behavior of the people in front of them, but because it's not correct behavior, it's not effective, but the people behind them don't know that, and so they just continue imitating and imitating and imitating. And it can be really hard to break that cycle. We're going to open this so that way we can come back down more easily. And sometimes you can need to interrupt that flow, but a lot of times it's actually it's not necessary, or in some cases not possible. Like, you can't take the time. Yep, traffic is a perfect example of that too. Okay, that was kind of lucky. There we go. Hate these dogs. They're so annoying. I'm going to talk a little bit more before I trigger the next encounter. So the next thing, a river can be shifted by moving only a few stones. There's a lot of cases in which you can have very significant modifications to organizational behavior with relatively little input. You don't necessarily... Actually, I should probably go and save the sorcerer friend down here first before I keep going. Let's get in here.
Brilliant. Then
He's Griggs of Vinheim. He's a cool guy. And I don't need this stuff, but I don't know. I'm a loot whore. Is that the right term? Anyway.
Drop the loot and that's you.
What's that?
Nothing.
Don't drop the loot?
I said drop the loot and that's what you are.
Okay. So oftentimes you can find yourself either accidentally having created a bad flow, or you get put in charge of stewardship of something that has a bad flow, right? And you don't necessarily, like I said, it's not always a, I am not smart. Okay. Oh, come on. I was trying to get around so I would... Okay, well... I never said I was good. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've said the opposite.
As long as you don't become... As long as it's not like Battle Kid, I think you're fine.
I literally was joking about that on my last stream.
Oh my god! I love Battle Kid.
I know you do.
Well, yeah.
I should probably practice not just tanking things repeatedly. Oh, come on. Oh, by the way, you're Mrs. Pilotson now.
No! I have a name.
I have
a server. I don't talk, but I'm in the server.
Uh-huh. She wants to make sure I'm not in a cult. That's why she's a lurker.
Yeah, no.
She lurks more.
No, I'm a lurker.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, I need to kill this guy so that he doesn't come down. It is one of the annoying parts of this. Alright. There we go. That guy will come and follow you down if you just run down the stairs, because he's like peeking out through the window. So you have to kill him before you go.
he's a friend.
He's not a friend. He's distinctly not a friend. I hate that door. I've always hated that door. Why couldn't they just make it open the other way?
Can you break the door?
No, you can't break the door.
Well,
It's
that's upsetting.
yeah, it's
You can break the doors in this game.
it is an immortal object to borrow from SAO. No?
You can break this door, these doors.
No, you
Trust
can
me.
lock those doors. You can lock
No,
those
you
stairs.
Can break them.
She's
You can
playing
break
Baldur's
them.
Gate.
You can break
You
them.
can break them?
Yes,
Oh,
you
that's
can.
true. Yeah, you
You
can.
can.
Yeah.
I've accidentally done it a lot of
Okay.
times. Trust me.
Okay.
Only because I've tried locking a door and then I accidentally attacked it instead, which is the opposite of what I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm like, god damn
Whoops. My bad. Okay, let's see here. But yeah, it doesn't take much force to shift things. Oftentimes, at least this is my own personal experience, what you want to try and do is, a lot of times the game is either poorly defined or was never defined, of like, what does it mean to win within the sort of participation in an organization. And so if you can just provide a good definition for what winning looks like to people. Oh gosh, I probably should have not triggered that right there. Oh well, we're gonna make it work. Okay. There we go, cool. And drink a little Estus. Oh, okay. So next fight is the Capra Demon fight. I am going to try and do this legitimately. If it takes me more than 3 tries, then I am going to cheese it because I don't want to be here all day. Let's see. Stone helm, stone armor, gauntlets, and legs. There we go. And we'll keep the grass crest shield on. Why not? Alright. Here we go. Okay. I totally get hit by that to start. Can I not hit the frickin' dogs? Holy crud. Like I said, this fight's really annoying. If I can't get it in 3 tries, I'm just gonna cheese it.
You give me shit for cheesing, and then you cheese?
You don't understand. You don't understand. One of my proudest achievements in this game was doing a one-shot kill on this thing. It took me an ungodly number of attempts because of how freaking annoying he is to kill. Like, you have no idea. Okay. I should probably take some of this armor off so I can actually move. Let's see, can I move with this? Is that, nope, still not fast rolling. What's the next heaviest? The legs, I think. There we go, that'll do. Why is it, oh, because I'm locked onto something. And get you. I'll take that, whatever. I had to make sure I wasn't in a cult after I met F. Okay, okay. Just because... I don't know. Okay, I'll get a little personal for a second here. I had long been kind of looking for a group of folks that aligned with the things that I was trying to do in the world, and when I finally, like, because I'd been watching Paul for a while, and I may have talked about this before in another stream or something, but whatever, I'll cover it again here. It's not that I want to be in the cult of Griswold Grimm, it's that I see, or I think I see what Grizz is trying to do, and I also want to do that, and I want to make that a reality independently of him as well, and so it is in my interests, as far as I'm concerned, to sort of work in support of that. So, cult leaders have a decentralized consortium of theologicaliness. You're gonna have to explain that one, Ron. I'm usually pretty good at interpreting words, but I'm not sure about that one. Clearly a guy with a bag of holding in this game. Yeah, definitely. Comes a time in a man's life when he decides whether or not he's a cheeser. I mean, you gotta be able to appreciate a good cannon rush every now and again, though. Like, it's not... Okay, killed him. Oh, gosh. Nice hit. That was good. Cool. Let's see. He also apparently has a leotard. I don't know about these leotards here. 2 wolves inside me, one that plays Dark Souls 3 and the other one that just wants to be Shadowheart's friend.
I just heard Shadowheart, that's all I heard.
Okay. I was the guy playing Age of Empires 2 who had a swarm of dodge vipers in my army. Mills, you can't just use cheat codes. That's not how the game was meant to be played. Alright. Let's throw on the armor and the boots. Alright. Alright, let's pull a shield out, and hopefully we can... Okay, roll out of the way. The other dog is behind me, so he's not going to let me out, and I'm out of stamina. Can I please back up the stairs? There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Can we get the other dog? Okay. We might have a shot now. Also, he's carrying the dog. That's a little weird looking. And I just two-shot it. Well, that was a little easier than I expected it to be. Maybe I will get to the gaping dragon tonight. We'll see. Okay. But yeah, the key when you're trying to shift things, from what I have seen, what I've experienced, is you have... It's this way. Where am I going? And by the way, the cheese way of killing this thing is you like face this wall here, you get a bow, you look up at a particular spot there, and then you throw basically grenades at it until it dies. So that's the cheese technique for killing the Capra Demon, because it is a pain in the butt fight to deal with those dogs, and I should probably change out of this armor. Da 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 da. Let's see, not source, tattered cloth manchette, and my heavy boots. Because I like the pyromancer aesthetic. He looks cool. Alright. Kill that guy. And you're dead. And let me just unlock the shortcut this way before I keep going. It's quicker to switch to your dog to reload your greatsword. I love that, Mills. Okay. And... Actually, yeah, I'll just keep going until I get to another bonfire to level up. And I probably should check the strength requirement for the sword again. Okay. Alright, the last thing I want to talk about before I open things up for folks to come in is the idea of they're watching you, Wazowski. Always watching. And I am pulling from Monsters Incorporated for that idea, but what I want to talk about is a little bit different, because in that one it's more, the character Roz is more like this bureaucrat who is also secretly part of sort of like the internal affairs department for Monsters Incorporated. Or the government, actually. I don't know if it's for the company itself. It's been a while since I watched that movie. So, what you have to understand is that especially when you're in a position of leadership, but even when you're just working side by side with peers, everyone is watching you. And maybe not all the time, and maybe not all the people. Some people can be pretty unobservant. But what you have to keep in mind is that most people are... Shoot. Oh gosh, if I die here, that would be very embarrassing. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. Wait, why am I fat rolling? I still have Havel's ring on. Is that... yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to... Well, hopefully I get to a bonfire before that becomes a problem. Did I find some weird bug? Or am I just actually not at the equipment load I thought I was? Okay. Do I go back for a bonfire, or do I just press forward? Because the next is butcher fight. Yeah, let's go get some Estus. Alright. So as we're running back, let me throw this back on so we can go a little bit faster. There we go. You have to understand that when you are working alongside of other people, and when you are working, especially in charge of them, they're going to be observing you, and they're going to model their behavior after your behavior. Because, I mean, part of that's just human psychology, right? You're not... If I don't know how to play the game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch somebody who I believe knows how to play the game, and then I'm going to model off of them because I also want to win. And so what can end up... There, I fell. There's a falling death for you all. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy, Grizz. I fell. She's giving me a thumbs up.
Elf right.
Okay. I don't know if anybody in TLC knows who Sylvia is. Probably not.
I feel like she would be a good person to introduce.
Okay.
I want you to fear me.
Okay. Well, we're going to try and not lose a 15k bloodstain because that would be very bad. So we're going to try and play it a little bit careful and a little bit safe. But yeah, you have to keep in mind, they are watching you, even and especially when you think they aren't. You can absolutely unintentionally set a bad example for somebody because you were being lazy in the moment. You did the thing where you needed to take a time shortcut, and so you did something that was kind of hacky. And as a consequence, that person learns that that's the right way of doing the thing. And if someone has a level of... Oh, oh, thank goodness. That's a good place to recover it from. All right, we're gonna spend those souls when we get to a bonfire, because... Okay. I just kill him through the wall? Yes, I did. Okay, well, that works too. Kill you, and okay, that was not where I thought the view was going to switch to. I should probably also get a repair, as I don't know how damaged this thing has gotten so far. You can probably go down to Rickert and show him off real quick too. I'll do that. Okay. And what's interesting about people always watching you too, is there's oftentimes folks will pick up on things that you don't necessarily think are consequential because you have known about them for such a long time that it's no longer... Okay, I thought Wattrek was supposed to be here by now, but I guess not. They've become incorporated into your understanding of the world for so long that it no longer is something that you register as an important or insightful idea. So you do the thing casually, you do the thing like out of habit, and then somebody sees it, and it unlocks something for them because they didn't know. Okay, we're just gonna go and we're gonna get our Black Knight Greatsword repaired because I don't know how damaged it is, and if I forget if Rickert sells. I think it's this way, is the way down to him. There we go. Yes, I can believe it. Now, can you repair my sword for me? Okay. Repair equipment. There we go. And we'll do the shields too while we're at it. And armor. Okay. And then, do we have any purchases? No, he just sells magic stuff, that's right.
What's happening?
Okay. Back up we go. Oh, did I get the soul that's down here? Or the soul shard? No. Let me grab that. Just in case. Trying to read and walk at the same time. And you shouldn't just because you are conscious of the fact that other people are watching you and are modeling off of you and emulating you, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to get a complex about it. Like, you shouldn't get so wound up about it that you end up making mistakes because of it. Right? You want to make sure that you give yourself some grace too, because while it is really important to provide that positive model, you're going to slip up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have to like do those hacky things sometimes. But what's important to do is to try and minimize that and to try and correct yourself when you do stumble and fall. You need to show an example of not going hollow. That's really what it comes down to. And that's not... Actually, this is a bonfire moment. This is a bonfire moment. That's not something I've always been successful at. Right? It's a big part of why I'm ending my videos with "Don't you dare go hollow." It's a way of consistently reminding myself that you shouldn't give up. That it's wrong. It's wrong to give up. Like that's how evil wins. Not just good men doing nothing, but good men trying and trying and trying to do good things, and then becoming discouraged, and then going hollow. That's how evil wins. And I have definitely given up on some pretty important things in my life. And I try not to beat myself up about it too much, because a lot of those, upon significant further reflection, given where I was at in my life, my level of understanding, I don't think that there was an alternative. I don't think that there was a different way I could have done things given my level of life experience and given the circumstances that I was put in. So there's some grace to be given there. But I also want to make sure that I'm adequately learning from those experiences so that if they do come up again, that I am adequately prepared to deal with them properly in a way that I wasn't the first time around. And yeah, it is very... It's not so much, Ron, that... I'm trying to think of how to explain what I'm thinking of. It's more just making sure that you're acknowledging the fact that people are observing you, and that you want to make sure that you are approaching that with the right attitude, approaching that with the right... I don't know. I'm struggling to find the word. But yeah, what you want to... In that idea of being Christ-like, though, you want to help drive the heuristics of others in a positive direction, right? You want to say, hey, like, this is the thing that I want to see more of in the world, and so if you can model that properly for other people, then... I'm trying to remember. It was back this way and then down. That's right. Okay. If you can help model that for other people, you can help bias their heuristics in a positive direction. Because then they see, oh, it is possible to be a good person and be successful. It is possible to do X, Y, and Z, because they've seen it, right? They've seen it for themselves in you. And then they can believe in the possibility of it for themselves. And then because they believe in the possibility of it for themselves, they can execute on that possibility. Okay, I could have shielded. Please don't die. Okay, I need to go back and use souls. Y'all in chat, admonish me if I'm forgetting to do something like this. Like, I have 16k souls in the bank. I gotta spend that before I lose it. I'm not good enough at this game to just not bonfire. Yeah, you're giving someone else their meta heuristics. I mean, sometimes it's a more direct heuristic, but oftentimes, yeah, you're, yeah. Oh wait, hang on, let me see. What's the level requirement for the sword? 'Cause I don't need to over-level. Let's see, toggle display. 32 for one-handed wielding. Okay, let's see. I'm at, oh my gosh, it was at 31. Shoot, what do I want to spend the rest of the souls on? Because I don't want to level up Dex anymore. What build? build should I go for? Can always do vitality and let's do endurance. Yeah, 1 level of endurance sounds good. Okay. Actually, hang on. I'll finish what I'm talking about here, and then I'll open it up, and then we'll keep going. While it's important to want to drive the heuristics of other people's in a positive direction, it's also important to remember that's not the only or main reason. And I'm talking more, or I'm talking in a less certain part of my understanding of things here. So please bear that in mind. But this is just what I've come to understand, what I've come to believe, is that you have to be able to not go hollow for yourself first. You have to truly love yourself first before you can not go hollow for the sake of others. Because you can not go hollow for the sake of others. That's absolutely a thing you can do. But what happens oftentimes is you get into sort of a codependent relationship with them, where the only way that you can justify your own existence is in the presence of other people. And that's not really a healthy place to be. You have to be willing and able to live not just for others, but also for your own sake. You have to be living because you firmly believe that being itself is good, that is the right way to be in the world. Yeah, I think that's about the extent of my thoughts for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop in the Tavern Telepresencing chat, and if anybody wants to come and join me on the gaming couch, you are more than welcome to. I just ask, please behave yourselves. Don't get me in trouble.
The gaming couch. Join me on the gaming couch.
Okay.
Join me. You know where I'm going. You know what that reminds me of, right?
What does that remind you of?
Join me on the casting couch.
Okay, that's not... Don't behave like my wife, please. Trying to get me tossed off this. Spelled T-O-S-S-E-D.
Get tossing
What?
salad. I'm just kidding.
Okay, you need to stop. You're cut off. Okay. And then, actually, let's just... Okay, I'll leave that up so that way when somebody comes in I can see, and we can make sure that... And make sure... Or, oh, frack. How do I make sure I can still see chat as well? Let's see. If I... Y'all can't even see what I'm doing, but that's okay. I'm just shifting Discord around a little bit so that I can still see OBS behind it as I'm doing this. Okay. Good evening, Spatch. Yeah. And if nobody wants to come on, that's okay too. We're just gonna go and we're gonna kill a gaping dragon, and it'll be a fun time. Okay. So let's see, what can I shoot from the hip on? I don't think I've had this before where I'm like ran out of material before I wanted to end the episode. Ugh. It's weird. Talk about content?
How's it going?
Oh, hey, we got a Foxman.
Hello.
I see the assassins have failed.
Oh, may they continue to do so, my
There
friend.
we go. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm just playing some Power World with my wife.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you,
That's busy.
what kind of a Pal World player are you, I gotta ask?
Are there kinds?
There's the, I'm playing in a way that's like, I want all the pals to have a wonderful life. And then there's the, you guys are delicious and I can't stop eating you.
Oh, probably closer to the first.
Okay.
I like an efficient machine that kind of runs itself.
Have you enslaved any people?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I was trying to throw a ball at one of like the random like bandits and stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know if they can be captured. So.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that they can. I haven't actually played Pal World, but from what I understand, that's a thing.
No.
I've seen the Pirate Software one where he's talking about it, but I haven't seen
Actually,
it myself.
yeah. I think that's probably where I've seen it from before too. Is
Batch,
Pirate is
I
Thor?
didn't lose the election. I don't know if you saw my announcement.
Uh huh. I did. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure I commented on
Spatch said how am I coping to my loss?
it.
He needs to watch what's going on
Uh-huh.
in the news.
You got to keep up with Spatch. There's things that happen in the dark corner, like things that aren't reported in the mainstream media. You got to go to the right places to find the information.
You got to go to my YouTube channel to find the
Specifically,
real news.
President Foxman's YouTube channel.
Journalism.
Oh my goodness. I mean, citizen journalism is a pretty important thing on the internet, and I'm actually there hasn't been too much of that with TLC though, has there?
Worldly news tonight.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, huh? Got to make sure you keep up on your TLC news.
I remember Seabax was planning on doing some sort of news thing with Pete,
Okay.
but I don't think they ever
As
or
a
they've
segment
done
of
it.
the Worldly News Tonight, or as like a separate thing?
No, is that like their own podcast? They were gonna do
Okay.
something. So like, Pete would do like whatever Christian YouTube news went on, and
Oh.
then
Like a
Christian
actually
would do
legit thing, or
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then they would like trade like information kind of. So like Christian
Okay.
would do all like the inside TLC stuff and
Uh,
vice versa.
okay.
But I think they only done it once or twice, and then I haven't heard about it since. So
Okay. I don't
there's
think I
been
saw that.
times.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Where's that butcher at? It's down this corridor, I think. Yeah, there you are.
I think I'm gonna have to refactor everything in my code.
Why?
I know you said I'm gonna have to do it anyway, but I have no clue how to tie statistics to like creatures,
Okay.
and so I'm just gonna have to redo a bit of it.
How do you mean tie statistics to creatures?
So I want to be able to like each of the buttons should be tied to an enemy
Mhm.
or to like a player,
Okay.
and right now it's not tied at all. And I've tried some stuff and it half works. But if I want to do anything that's not going to be super tedious,
Mhm.
I have to find a system that's going to keep it consistent.
Gotcha.
And my coding is not the best, so I have to figure out what the best solution for it is.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to help, but I do have a fair amount of coding experience, so if you do want a second set of eyes, just let me know.
Will do. Also, good point tonight on going hollow. I think
Mhm.
it was helpful. I think it's some of the stuff I've been thinking about with nihilism, about trying to understand how to make that jump to life matters, being is good,
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one to make.
Well, from what my understanding of it is, it's actually axiomatic. Like, it's not like, you can't logic yourself into depression. You can't logic yourself out of it. You have to realize that it's like there's an idea that I have that any proper epistemological framework has to be based in autological or Quine-like objects, that you have to have something self-referential that you hold as axiomatic as the basis of any proper system. And I know that that's probably kind of a weird thought.
No, I mean you just described basically religion or God, right? Like that's the thing where and this has been some of my take, which is kind of when I talked to Mark D. Parker about this, was that it's like part of the reason I'm a Christian is because like it seems to be the only thing that works. Like there's no other thing that seems to do that
Yeah.
same thing for me. Run, understatement of the century. Nihilism sucks.
It does suck. It sucks to go through it too, but it's not something that you really choose. I feel like you're not.
There's some people who try to say like, oh, I ended up here and I'm going to like make it proud. Like I think that was I don't know if you saw Heliocentric's conversation with Chad a while back,
No,
but he
maybe
tries
not.
to make some sort of
Mm.
point about how nihilism is like for him it works because um, you know,
Mhm.
pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
still kind of lost on how he kind of processes all that. So I've been
Okay.
wanting to talk to him, but I've been able to get in contact with him. So
Okay. I feel like that's also kind of Slack's perspective, right? Is that he sees himself as kind of a nihilist, and that he finds it freeing that if there's no meaning in things, then he can choose to do the good, which I kind of get, but at the same time, then what's to stop you from just saying that there's no meaning in anything, right? Like that's
well, how do you know what's good?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it frees you to do the good, and that's where I think and I think I know where Slack is coming from because he is a fan of the Persona series. There is a certain like Gnostic perspective on it,
Hmm.
which is something closer to like uh Taoism,
Hmm.
which is like if the good is often equated to order and then the evil is often equated to chaos,
Hmm.
and so obviously you need to find a middle path,
Hmm.
and um, but then you're just redefining good to the middle path,
Yep.
and then that's another thing.
Yep.
So it's just a
It's just a sleight of hand at a certain point.
yeah, and I think it's just like a maybe not a misunderstanding, but it's a communication that's kind of
Yep.
missing between the East and the West a little bit.
Well,
That still
especially
needs to be worked out.
yeah. Well, and I don't think I don't know. It's just weird to me that someone would define because it's not order good, chaos bad, or chaos good, order bad. It's balance good, imbalance bad, right? Like
Or balance for what,
that's true
like
too. Yeah.
you can have a balance that breaks everything down, but you can also have a balance that builds up.
Hmm.
And that's where like nihilism and Taoism, if we're gonna say like they might look similar,
Hmm.
but in the end, hopefully the balance leads to something that's generative and not something that is like a black hole that sucks everything in.
Yep. Sorry, I just died and then realized I'm gonna have to walk a ways back.
I'm still like a few minutes behind, and so I just saw the rats show
Okay.
up.
Yeah, no, I killed the rats. Yeah. Or I did. Well, I killed the big rat, but I didn't kill the little ones that swarmed me. Whoopsies. But yeah, we got to kill the channeler next. I think is the way to make it so it's not an impossible fight, even with help. Let's see. Kill you. Yes, Chris. Rats indeed. Rats. I hate those guys. Yeah. Balance for what? I like that.
Well, yeah, and it's all the nested meaning stuff that goes on.
Hmm.
The you need to find something that means something, and that's where you kind of have to get to the self-referential stuff, like you were talking about.
Hmm.
There has to be a point where it just hits the foundation and
Hmm.
it's done. Trying to think, who was that? Bertrand Russell, who was saying that there's like brute facts, but his point was that it doesn't. There's a point where it doesn't really matter anymore,
Mm.
and it's just science.
I mean, was that Bertrand Russell before or after Gödel?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. That's a really interesting one. Oh, come on. Because if it was before, then I don't know how much I would necessarily trust his assessment, because his whole, like, the whole idea of Principia Mathematica was, how do I form this basis for everything? Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, thank goodness that would have been bad. I probably should not just be tanking these guys, but I just don't have patience. And now I probably should have some patience, because I'm going to die if I don't. Yeah, no, I haven't been reading it as consistently as I probably ought to be, but I have been pecking at Gödel Escher Bach on Tyler's recommendation, and it has been really good so far.
I haven't been reading as much as I should in general.
Yeah. It's hard.
I mean, get back into it. Yeah.
It's hard to do
I
that consistently.
started Life of Moses,
Mhm.
and then I haven't gotten back into it.
Mhm.
Then I have Nick Cave's book sitting around
Mhm.
that I need to go through again, and yeah.
I haven't. I've heard you mention Nick Cave's name a bunch of times, but I don't actually know who he is. What's his story? Why is he interesting?
He is an Australian musician who has always kind of been religion, Christianity adjacent, but he's also been like had like a crazy music career. He was like really into the punk scene.
Mhm.
He was like early punk. Ended up getting addicted to like heroin
Oh,
and just like some bad stuff, and then eventually he like you know became religious, but throughout the whole thing he was like obsessed with the Bible, and so the first half of his career was just him like meditating on like Old Testament scriptures and stuff,
Mhm.
and how that played out in his like his music. And so it's just interesting to see like how he's reacting to that all through his stuff. But then also a huge twist in his life happened when his 13-year-old son, I think it was 13-year-old son,
Mm.
passed away. I think he was on acid or something, and like
Mm.
walked off a cliff basically,
Jeez.
just because he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And so part of this has also been him processing through that within the last decade or so of music he's made. But I think just listening to some of his conversations was worthwhile. Talks a lot about grief and processing that, and what art has to do with that and everything. So, yeah. He has a good unheard conversation.
Okay.
Trying to think of what else he's done. Did some conversations with Rick Rubin. His Stephen Colbert interview is actually pretty good. That's one that I feel like is pretty good to like just introduce people to him.
I think I have watched that one actually.
Yeah.
You posted that in the Broke Clock Tower Discord at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think I watched that one then.
Yeah, I showed my great aunt that one because I was like, I don't know how else to introduce this guy.
Okay,
It's a
I
little
did
weird.
not. Oh, come on. I almost died. I knew he was there. I tried to dodge, and I still almost died. I do love this game, though.
I was gonna say I was really worried. I think I'm still a bit behind still, so I was like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, there's just a little bit of a stream delay. I don't know exactly why. Something with OBS's settings, maybe.
No, it's usually YouTube. YouTube has some sort of built-in, not on purpose, but just technical limitation kind of stuff.
No, that makes sense.
Make it look good.
Okay, am I gonna die? Oh gosh, that was really close. That was really close. Okay.
You can also artificially add it too. So
Yeah. Well, and especially if you're playing a multiplayer game or something where somebody can stream snipe you, it kind of becomes important to have enough of a delay that people don't know exactly where you are.
yeah.
I'm not dead yet. Okay. Then we go up
Well, I'm
here.
just now getting to Ron's comment.
Yeah.
I hate to woo it, but is nihilism actually a spirit of unbelief, and the antidote is actually an outside, all-encompassing love from God? No, that's pretty right.
Yeah, I think so. That is one thing that I wouldn't say I'm like struggling with it per se, but this notion of spirits, because I don't know. I definitely believe in the sort of like disembodied things, or how was it that I forget who I was explaining it to. The way that I kind of think about it is you have sort of roles that get played within a particular frame. Like you have a platoon leader who is in charge of a platoon. You have a captain who's in charge of a company, but that role is filled by a particular person. And so the way that I understand it, at least, is that you have. Okay, they're actually kind of smart. That's annoying. They're like looping around behind me to make sure that they get backstabs or whatever. Okay, there we go.
So you're thinking like Thrones almost?
Like what?
I'm just trying to frame what you're saying about the spirits, about how maybe there's like an office or like a throne of something,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever takes its place, is going to take that place, but
Yep.
the individual is not as important as the position, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's generally.
Well, like
I would agree.
the idea being that like if you had the spirit of war, that would be filled by a particular spirit that we call Mars. Like that there is some actual identifiable entity that is conscious, that is actively filling that role, but it's not the only one that could do it.
I can see that. I could also see. There's a whole bunch of pieces to this.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is that I think that's what the patron saint thing is doing,
Mm-hmm.
or is trying to do. Is saying like, there's the role of the patron of war.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want it to be filled by Mars, or do I want it to be filled by, I don't know who the patron saint of war is, but
Or of soldiers.
Christopher, or
Yeah.
whoever. Yeah. It's interesting.
Well, and it's not something that I've really heard about, talked about. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get cursed. Okay, that was close. That would have been bad. Yeah. Yeah. Joya, I am vaguely aware of the strange loop idea, but I also know that I haven't read far enough to really know what he's getting at with it. I think I know where Hofstadter's going to be going with it in GEB, but I'm not far enough where I can really talk to it yet. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but it's honestly like I guess it's a frustration that I have with Jonathan Peugeot is like I feel like there's definitely an opportunity to talk through that kind of a thing. But I don't actually know if that's the way that he understands reality. So I don't know. Maybe that's just my weird interpretive lens that I'm putting on things.
No, I think you're. I don't think he would disagree necessarily. I think just like I think he talks about the spirit of Santa Claus, Uh, I think he would be one of the first to say that the spirit of Santa Claus can be abused and, redirected towards something a lot worse than,
Mhm.
what it is. There's a certain, I don't know, there's a certain revolution that happens when Santa Claus's colors are changed to red because primarily the a Coca-Cola
Is that what
advertisement
that was?
campaign. Maybe that's just a myth, but I'm pretty sure. Like
Interesting.
before that, there was a little bit of ambiguity on like what colors would specifically be used, but
Hmm.
maybe I'm
Interesting.
just echoing some misinformation.
Somebody in chat, go look it up. We're both busy. I'm playing Dark Souls. He's playing Pal World. We got things to do.
Oh, I'm just watching. I can look it up.
Okay. One
Let me
of these
think
boxes
red.
has a rat in it, or at least one of these boxes has a rat in it. So I am going to break all of them and make sure I don't get surprised.
Okay, it started out originally as religious symbolism of like the robes of a bishop,
Okay.
but it was further popularized.
Okay.
So half and half,
That's good to know.
according to, you know, AI Google response.
It, I've been surprised that it's actually like there's some cases where you want to be a little bit wary of it, but I would be willing to trust that one at least.
Eat at least one small rock a day.
Yep. It's good for your health. Yeah, that's actually a really interesting problem. The AI poisoning that a lot of people are intentionally doing.
Hmm.
Like, have you seen? Because there's a lot of artists that are very, very upset about.
Yeah,
My wife is on Team Artist for this one too, so we have a little bit of disagreement about this. But that what they've started doing is they will intentionally corrupt the image files in a way that makes it so that people can still see it and understand and interpret it properly, but it makes it very, very difficult for AI to get useful training data out of the images.
just mess with the encoding and everything. Yeah,
Not with
it's
the encoding. You basically there's like you slightly change the values of all of the pixels. Like not enough for
oh,
not enough for a
okay,
human to perceive a difference, but enough that it ends up becoming a very very difficult for the AI to see the patterns that it has been learning to see in other images.
interesting.
Yeah.
And the question is, right, is are there going to be developers who are developing an algorithm to address the intentional poisoning of art?
Well, how could you? Like, are you gonna use an AI to?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
you can flatten it. That's the thing, where it's like
Oh, it's
you have
true.
another flattening algorithm on top of it to
Mm.
observe just general like gradients and stuff.
Hmm.
Like there are ways to try to address it,
That's true.
which I think is just I don't know. It's kind of funny because then the reason why they're doing it is because they're trying to train on
Stolen
art
data.
that doesn't want to be used
Yeah.
for that purpose explicitly.
Yeah.
There's a yeah, that's a mess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the ethical concerns there are really difficult to resolve. At least, well, maybe not difficult to resolve because you really shouldn't be using stuff that you don't have the rights for. But how do you effectively stop that from happening?
Hmm.
That I don't know. Good night, Ron. Sleep well.
Not wrong.
I'll most likely kill you in the morning. Alright, me level up a little bit. Yeah, we'll just keep doing endurance for now. It's a good stat. It's a good dump stat. And then, oh, I have to reverse hollowing, so that way I can summon Slayer and Lautrec, because Channeler kill isn't that hard, so we'll do that. Yeah. I feel like part of that is if you are an artist that's putting stuff out on the internet, that there's kind of a reasonable expectation that your stuff is going to get shared around and used in ways that you didn't necessarily intend for it. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Sarah Scribbles, but she's had a couple of her comics appropriated by people she does not like,
Mm.
and is very unhappy about the fact that they are uh, making things that are objectionable in her eyes, like taking her comics as a meme format and then changing them to suit their own purposes.
Mm.
And it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't legislate memes. It's just not reasonable. Oh gosh,
Well, and there's a
this is
difference
annoying.
between that and the product, though, right? Like,
That's true.
um, if Coca-Cola, you know,
Mm.
picked up one of her comics and started making an ad campaign around it, that'd be another thing entirely.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the. It really comes down to money for the most part, like
Mhm.
the laws and everything. Even if somebody has, moral sensibilities,
Mhm.
really the whole system really just cares about
The dollar bill,
the
yo.
dollar. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how to get to the channeler. I think it's up these stairs first. Oh gosh. Wait. Okay. The rat just like ran up and then ran back down the stairs. Alright. Yeah, that's one of the big things that I took away from the army is you can make all the rules in the world that you want. People will or will not follow them, and honestly, the better way of dealing with that kind of thing is not trying to legislate or regulate or order a particular outcome. It's to try and make it, and it's this. I mean, this is kind of getting into a bit of a dark art with nudge theory, but that's kind of what you have to do. Like you can't just say do this or don't do this and expect that to be always obeyed by people, because
Mm.
it's just not gonna. People are gonna find ways to get around things. They're going to try and circumvent things if it's in their interests. And yes, that's not great, but it's also just the way that things work in real life. Um, you can't you can't build a system assuming perfect people and then be surprised Pikachu face when, oh my gosh, why is the system not working? Like,
Yeah. Well, and along similar lines, you have I mean, it's the whole thing where you see this in movies a lot,
mm,
where the villain is expecting everybody to act in their own self-interest, and when people don't act that way, they're also surprised.
yes,
It's like
that's a
it's
really
it's
good
all
counterpoint.
unexpected.
Yeah.
That's the whole that's the ending to the Dark Knight.
Hmm.
That's the Joker thinks that everyone's gonna
Right
um
about now. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. But
So many thoughts.
yeah, it's the thing with that too for me though is it's nice if you can set things up in a way where you are intentionally making it easier for people to be good, right? Rather than having like, and that's not always the case because sometimes you learn lessons better if you have to fight through things, but it just, I don't know. In most cases, I don't think that you should be actively trying to make it harder for people to be good. That they have to act against their own self-interest just to be doing things in a way that is beneficial for people overall. And there's some places where that's unavoidable, the whole prisoner's dilemma idea, but if you can design the system in a way where you're not intentionally setting up prisoner's dilemma for people to deal with, that's probably for the best.
Mhm. Well, and then yeah, I think the argument that I'm thinking of can be used to defend really bad stuff, and I want to make sure I'm not falling into that. But there is a certain amount of how would I put it? There's a scene from there's a character in the movie Silence,
Mhm.
and I think he's also in the book, where he is one of the Christians in Japan who's being persecuted, and he continuously apostatizes and then comes back and asks for forgiveness.
Mm.
And one of the things he says is why me? Why did this
Mm.
happen? That have to happen in my lifetime?
Uh,
Like if I had been in like a nicer time or place, like I would have been able to be a Christian and it would have all been fine. But
yep.
like this is like the
It's too
worst.
much. Yeah.
It's too much. And
But that's
and
so.
it's kind of thing where it's like that's where the rubber meets the road. Like
Mhm.
that's the real thing.
Yep.
And it's horrible to say, but that is it, right? Like
Yep.
uh,
Well, you don't
you
get
know,
a
atheist in
true.
foxholes kind of thing.
Well, not just that, but you don't get a true measure of like what your spiritual elo is unless you're actually coming up against a challenge.
Hmm.
Like, anybody can be good when it's easy to be good. Can you still be good in the face of difficulty, in the face of disaster, in the face of tragedy, in the face of malice? Can you still do that?
Yeah.
Okay. I forget where he comes from. Okay. I forgot about doing this, so it's kind of fun that we did. I'm gonna try and bait. Okay. Okay. I don't have any Estus left, which is kind of annoying. I'm gonna try and just bait him because he can roll and then damage me, which is unfortunate. There we go. Cool. And now I need to get to a bonfire before I die. I'm debating actually cracking a humanity because I am blinking red on my health. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's do that before I die. So one of the lesser used mechanics in this game is if you crack a humanity, it resets, or it gives you full health. So, kind of helpful. I could have just... I didn't need to do that, did I?
Kelly,
Well,
stop. Kelly, stop.
yeah, because I'm like right here. Whatever. I'll still go rest at the bonfire so I can get my Estus charged up. It's just annoying that I wasted a humanity.
No, you're just double, not hollow.
Double not
You're
hollow.
good. You're good.
I'm triple not hollow because I'm not hollow and I have 2 liquid humanity right now. So
See?
yeah, we'll go and we'll kill the gaping dragon, and then I think that'll probably be about it for tonight. Let's run on back down. What's the charging one-hand attack look like? Oh, it's about the same. Okay. I haven't played around with the moveset of this thing enough. Oh, I could have leveled up a little more endurance. That's fine. Alright, let's go summon Solaire and Lautrec and kill a giant dragon. Kelly.
She choked on water.
Is she choke on water? Is that what that is?
Then she proceeded to stand next to me and then cough in my face.
Yeah, she does that. Poor pupper. Now I have to remember where their summon signs are. I am human, right? Yeah, I'm human. Cool. Is it down the stairs here, I think? You're just gonna back away, right? You're not gonna charge me. I don't trust you. Yeah, down the stairs. Here's one summon sign. And where is Lautrex? I did release him, right? Pretty sure I did. Or do I have to have talked to him at the Firelink Shrine in order for him to show here? It might just be me and Solaire. Solaire, buddy, you gotta move. I gotta...
Praise the sun.
Gosh. Did I just soft lock myself?
Yes.
Solaire, can I seriously not get past you? This is obscene. What is happening? Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Alright. Time to focus up.
Have you heard of soft lockpicking?
Yeah. There's some really cool videos online of people like intentionally making puzzle challenges for that sort of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're soft locked with a couple of random items and then you have to like figure out what it is that you're supposed to do.
Oh, the one I heard about a lot was the Magikarp at the Elite Four with no other items.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
This guy found a way to like get gravel, like the off chance that a graveler uses explode and misses, giving your Magikarp XP, and then doing that over and over again until he evolves, and then being able to beat the Elite Four with a level 100 Gyarados as the way to escape that soft lock.
Interesting. How long does it take to get there?
I've heard it was quite a few hours. At least you could maybe automate it, though. I think you could maybe write like a Lua script or something that could do it.
Okay. Yeah, that just does not sound like fun to me. Oh gosh. Am I gonna be able to do this? Okay, and that's a problem. Okay. Solaire died, and I don't have Law Trek, and now I'm 1v1ing the Gaping Dragon. This is annoying. I'm trying to remember where the openings are. Oh, why did I go that way? I could have just walked the other way.
Dude, this is the Agape Dragon.
The Agape Dragon. It's like the anti-Agape Dragon. Can we please not... Oh gosh. Okay, well... There's Death 1. Hold my hand, it's the first move in our Gaping Dragon technique. The Goatsy Dragon.
What you just said just reminds me of, like, hug me, I'm scared.
Okay, how does it remind you of
You
that?
said, like, hold me, something, something. I was like, oh god.
Okay.
Why did you say these things?
Okay. Let's see. Do I go and try and find Lautrec? I thought I released him earlier in this series. I could be wrong, though. Lautrec? It's too intimate. What do you mean it's too intimate? Talking about gaping dragons is turning you off? Is that what this is? Reverse hollowing. Alright. One more try. At least one more try.
You're only gonna need one.
That's... I appreciate your confidence. What... I've never actually watched the full series 'cause I just couldn't get past the first couple of episodes, but I still use the line from Gurren Lagann. You don't have to believe in yourself, just believe in the me that believes in you.
Congratulations, Shinji.
That's Evangelion, that's different. Okay.
Oh, okay. Your dog missed
Why? She wants me to pet her.
Yes.
She probably also wants to go potty and get fed.
She's eating carpet.
Do that after stream. What's that? She's eating carpet? Why? Why do you gotta say it like that?
Stop, please, horking in my. Stop horking in my face.
But your face is so horkable. Do you only get one chance with Solaire? No, it's down the stairs first. That's.
You only get one chance at Solaire.
Well, okay. Like this is an Otome or something?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a timed event.
Okay. No, you get more than one chance with him, so I will try and take more advantage of him. No, I'm not. Gaping is not what I'm doing to the dragon. Its mouth is gaping wide open because it's been eating things.
To Ryan.
Why? Why are you like this?
I mean, I think it's a fair question.
Say again.
I think it's a fair question. I think Grizz asked the fair question.
Oh gosh. Okay, we don't need to watch the cutscene again. How do I? There we go. Do I care about the bloodstain, or do I just care about trying to go for the kill? Yeah, I care about taking advantage of Solaire's sacrifice. Oh, I should probably be mindful. Oh, get out of the way, get out of the way! Okay. Solaire, please don't just die. Maybe I should go for the tail. Can you let me go for your tail, please? Just swing. Just swing wildly. Can I please not die? Okay. It's focused on me. And Slayer is just tanking random damage. Use your lightning spear, you... Not... Okay. That's what I get for not shielding when I should be. Third time's a charm. Third time is a charm. And if not, then we'll turn this into a two-parter, and I will go and get Lautrec first if I still can in this run. Even though he's a bad guy. What's that?
You only need 3. You're only gonna need 3.
Only gonna need 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I did die. I don't know if I've died enough on this play for Grizz to timestamp all of my deaths and then play them on stream. We'll see.
We'll just make a fan edit.
Fan edit.
We'll play some of McMo's new music over it.
Just stitch together every single one of my deaths through the entire run and just like put it as the music video for one of McMo's songs.
Just have Yappy Sax playing in the background.
I mean, he was saying he was not a particular fan of Mammon, so we could do it on the Mammon song.
I need to go back and watch that. I've been relatively busy lately, so I haven't had as much time to do TLC stuff.
I mean, same.
Yeah. It's almost like being a working adult requires a significant time commitment.
I've been talking to Neil a little bit about YouTube is weird because it's making stuff about stuff.
How so?
It's very second order. It's all about like
making videos about repairing
I'm making
something
videos
or...
about art or something like that. Like that's most of the stuff that I'm thinking about.
Okay.
And but it's not making art normally. Like usually,
It's talking about the art that someone else made.
yes.
Okay.
And sometimes it's talking about something using somebody else's art as a jumping off point. But it's just interesting. I'm trying to negotiate what my relationship is to this, or if I want to, work on something else. So I'm still kind of thinking about what to do about projects and how to not feel like I've completely abandoned everything I've invested my blood and sweat into.
Well, I think the thing with that is that there is actually a pretty sizable opportunity to do like art streams or other things where you are... Oh gosh. I was blocking, but I didn't have my shield up. One more try. We did a fair amount of damage, and that was actually... Like, I'm getting the feel better for how to do that with Solaire. So one more try. Have I tried hitting it in the gape? No. I don't think I'm gonna do that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, art streams work for certain things a little bit better. Something that's visual, sometimes even coding. Writing a book on stream feels like it would be a little bit difficult, or like an article or an essay or something like that.
Yeah, it's true. Although, so what about like the sort of science YouTuber approach where we're gonna take something, we're gonna make something, and we're gonna make a video about making the thing? Is that rather than just doing like a commentary about like a particular artist or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think the one thing I've thought about is writing a piece of fiction that is relatively lengthy. That's just been something that's been on my mind. Not too crazy, but just relatively long length. Maybe posting like an audiobook version on the YouTube channel or something.
Okay.
So I've been just trying to play around with that.
There's two things that are coming to mind for me. Have you watched? I'm guessing that you have Code Bullet.
Code Bullet. Don't think so.
Okay, he's a guy who does a lot of programming projects, stuff like coding AIs, doing weird things with games. He's a really good channel, and I think he does what you're talking about as far as like not just talking about the thing, but actually doing the thing and then talking through the process of how he accomplished it. So that's one thought. And then the other one, I mentioned him, I think in the last stream that I did, was Rodamant, and other gaming streamers like him who do like long-form gaming content is the best way I can think of to describe it. Not doing like super long streams, but doing like 30-minute or hour-long episodes of playing a particular game. And then, because his two main ones that I really enjoyed were RimWorld and Kenshi, which both lend themselves very, very well to doing that kind of narrative exploration.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I've been impressed by a bunch of people like Warlocracy.
I don't know if I've heard of him.
He's a Russian guy who does I think he calls it narrative reviews of games.
Okay.
Where he plays through a game, is simultaneously reviewing it, and then also like doing like RP of the character and what they're going through and how he's kind of the headcanon of everything.
Okay, I like that.
It's pretty cool. Again, though, it's kind of it's second order to a certain amount, and that's it's a good version of second order, but it's still
second order.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's involving. I don't know. I'm still playing around with the ideas of it all and how that would all play together. But
well, does it have to be original creation, or can it be that sort of co-creation that you get with games? Is that an acceptable primary source?
I don't know. I'm still kind of, again, I'm still thinking it through and trying to understand what the consequences are. I brought it up with Estuary, this broad topic,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think it got the bite from my wife and you know old men who live in my area.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
I'm probably gonna talk about it with a friend at dinner,
Okay.
like some point soon. But
okay.
yeah, just trying to still understand it and get a good idea of what that looks like.
Well, it's
Because
also
I
kind
just
of.
think there's a lot of. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say there's a lot of like slop, maybe would be the way to put it, where it's just like
Yep.
even if it's good, it's just like it's just stuff.
Yeah, it's
And
not. It doesn't have love poured into it.
Yeah, and you can pour love into the second order stuff, but there's a certain level of like I think there's something about approaching. I don't know. I listened to Kendrick Lamar's new album,
Mhm.
and I was talking to Chloe about this. Good night, Spatch.
It's fetch.
And the night before, I was telling her about how like I want to make art at some point that makes me feel the way that like a good song makes me feel.
Okay.
And the next day, we were listening to Kendrick Lamar's new album, and he has a song called "Reincarnation."
Mhm.
I don't know if you've heard it, but it's intense. Like it goes from him talking about his this idea of like generational trauma, about going through the lives of famous artists who kind of all crumbled underneath the machine of music,
Mhm.
and in the end, it's him having a conversation with God, and the realization that he's playing out the story of Lucifer,
Mm.
and that he wants to find a way to redeem that story,
Interesting.
to have it become a story of repentance ultimately.
Okay.
And so it's like it's incredible. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of art that I've seen this last year.
Okay.
And
Now it's called Reincarnation.
yes,
Okay.
I think it's
I have to
reincarnation.
Listen.
Let me double check what it's if it's reincarnated. Sorry.
Reincarnated. Okay.
And so yeah, and the idea of like I don't think you could do that with a YouTube video, and at least just in my head. Like I don't know how I would frame that otherwise. I've seen that in some making, like in video games. I've seen that in a lot of the sport first order stuff, but in second order I haven't seen it quite to that extent or that level of being able to have that artistic je ne sais quoi. But
Also, we have reached the "we're not stopping" portion of the stream. I am getting so close. I can taste it. It's gonna be the next
you
one.
have to do the whole quote.
No,
You know how
I don't want to do the whole Battle Kid thing.
No, man, like you're like a. I'm like
No,
a-
I am not doing the whole quote. You stop that right
No,
now.
Like you know how the whole quote.
I
goes.
do know how the whole quote goes, and there's a reason I'm not doing it right now. I might add it to the description. There's a particular video of the Game Grumps playing a game called Battle Kid, and Aaron gets absolutely unhinged in it. So. But yeah. No, I'm really close to getting this. If I had Lautrec, this would be trivial, but I don't know. Maybe it's good that it is a little bit of a challenge at least. That it's not just me running through the game. Because that's one of the things that's really hard about Dark Souls. For those who have not played it, there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing that comes as a consequence of having a lot of hours in the game, and so it's difficult to convey. Like it's like, oh, I could do that. He's making it look so easy, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of pain behind those skills. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure you can attest to that.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it all works. Is that you know, anything worthwhile is worth sacrificing for, and
Hmm.
lots of sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, and the really hard part with that too, though, is that a lot of people, especially nowadays, practice that dark art of not disclosing and not revealing the amount of time and effort that they had to put in order to gain the skills that they have. And so you get the impression that they are just naturally gifted. And it is really difficult for a lot of people because they expect that they'll be able to do that same thing with that same level of ease. And they get really frustrated and disappointed in themselves when they can't do what they perceive as, like, oh, I should be able to do this because this person was able to do this.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, but they also put loads and loads of time in that they're not disclosing to you, and you're not aware of that or taking that into account. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's millions of examples of that.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Fischer, I think, is one of those obvious ones to me. Of
yeah. Well, there's a lot of
Someone
natural
who is
talent there
not-
too, but
oh yeah, but like you see the price he paid for what he had, um, and that was part of the reason why I stopped playing chess, was because
you didn't want to go the Bobby Fischer
because I
way.
knew I knew what the sacrifice was to become good at chess,
Mhm.
and I was like, I'm not willing to pay that. So now I have to learn how to just like something and not worry about
obsess
wanting to
over it.
be the greatest. At the same time, though, right? Like, I don't know. It's the kind of thing where it's like, what role is there for someone who wants to play Counter-Strike competitively, but then also doesn't want to learn the smokes, or wants to play chess but not have to learn the openings?
Well, so how much have you played CS:GO or chess or whatever competitively?
I played a lot of CS:GO, like in the competitive mode, not very competitively.
Okay.
And then I played chess for a good bit during COVID.
Okay.
And I got pretty good.
I think you
just
mentioned
generally
what
with-
Elo was before. What did you end
Yeah,
up getting to?
I stuck around like 1,100 ish.
Okay. So pretty good.
I think the highest I got was 1,200.
Okay.
I've never been really amazing at competitive stuff though.
Well,
Partially for that reason, because I realized that there was a lot of sacrifice there, and I was like, ah.
I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, though. Like, if you got to 1,100, like, one of the big things that I see people having difficulty with is sort of what I call getting off the ground. People just have this idea of, they have this idea in their head of, like, how good they are, and it's completely disconnected from reality. And it's really difficult for people to just get past that initial barrier. So if you're able to do that, if you're able to get to a fair amount of elo, then that's pretty good. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like people don't. I could have shielded. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to call it. Yeah. I actually, I've actually lost a friendship over that kind of a thing, where the guy was just so delusional about what his level of competence was, and it's particularly bad with League of Legends because you can blame your team for a lot of things, especially when that's not actually what the problem is. It's really easy to just be like, no, like, it's not my. I can see all these problems with my teammates, and that's why I keep losing. It's like, no, you're the common denominator. You need to work on improving yourself and stop worrying about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and it's the same thing with most things, right? You have the YouTube algorithm is one of these where people will say, like, why am I not getting selected by the algorithm or whatever? And
yep.
like, if you're good enough, when that time comes, you can get swept up in that entire thing. But
Well,
sometimes it comes unexpected and you're not ready for it, and so
yeah. Well, and that's the worst is when you like go viral with a single video and you have no backlog for people to chew on. Like that's if you do want to make this into a career, if that is something that you're trying to do, you don't actually want people to just find you when you're first starting out. It's much better to develop a catalog of content over a period of time and kind of like develop yourself and figure out who you are as a content creator before you actually become famous or whatever.
and be good at what you do,
Yeah.
right? Like actually push to get better at whatever you're making.
Yep.
I see a lot of people who, they've been doing it for a long time, and it seems like they want to like make this their career or something. And I look at what they're doing, and I'm like, man, like, are you interested in that?
Yeah. For
I
the
think that's
amount
the
of
thing.
time.
Yeah, like there's this whole thing where people will say like, oh, you shouldn't become a streamer or think about becoming a streamer as a career because everybody wants to do that. Um, but for the most part, people aren't willing to make that sacrifice to actually do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, not just that, but they have this idea in their head of like what that looks like, and they're not willing to shift or adjust that based off of feedback.
yeah,
Which I really like the way that TLC handles this, by the way, because I would never have thought of like being a streamer or doing a stream like this before. But if I'm doing this in kind of a Vanderclay way of like I have thoughts in my head and I just want to get them out, and then in the more TLC way of I want to make a space for and then share that space with other people to be able to like come and talk about things that they have on their mind too and be able to bounce ideas off of each other. I think that that's a really good and healthy approach to like not just using this as I want to be the center of attention for so many other people that I'm not even necessarily engaging with that much, rather using it as a genuine communications platform. Like I think that that's a really powerful idea.
definitely. It's I mean that's one of the things about TLC is that the somewhat inherently rejecting the normal structure and finding the beauty that's hidden.
How do I bend this tool to my will rather than just subsuming myself to the algorithm?
Yeah,
And when I say my will, I don't just mean like my individual will, but like if I'm subsuming myself to God's will and then using the tool to serve him in that kind of an idea. That's more what I'm thinking when I say that.
well, and it's like what we talked about at the campfire, right? The don't you know that you will judge the angels? The understanding that what is the proper orientation of this relationship. Hey, Slack.
Hey Slack, you came on right at the end. I'm sorry, buddy. Noah and I were just wrapping things up. So, yeah. Well, thank you for coming on, Noah. Do you have any closing thoughts or summarizing or chilling or anything you want to do?
No, not really. I probably will talk to you about some stuff I've been thinking about.
Okay.
I have some more things I've been processing, but other than that, I'm pretty chill. Thanks for hosting this and
Yeah,
letting me hop on and
of course. It was a lot of fun.
engage. Yeah, it was great.
All right. Well, with that, goodbye then. Be safe, friends. Don't you dare go hollow.